Ivor Thomas from EXP Taree and Dee Mangion from EXP Mackay. Thank you so much for joining me today, both of you.
G'day, Lisa. Hey,
Dee. Hi.
Okay, today I want to ask you guys all about EXP and particularly agents that are looking to come to EXP from regional areas. So Dee, first of all, in a few minutes, can you tell us what you love about EXP?
Oh gosh, I thought when we discussed this, I'd make some notes. So I found there were 7 points. Is it okay to sort of just go through them?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
What do I love about EXP? So one, what I feel has come from it, one is ownership. Mm-hmm. 2 is freedom and empowerment.
Good.
Elaborate. All agents are equal.
Yes, that's true.
Absolute minimal risk with that. So we can save clients money because we have the freedom, flexibility with marketing, and we've moved probably a step forward from the norm of how everyone is trained to make people spend certain dollars in marketing. And lastly, the commission split. I can see great potential for my financial future moving a lot quicker than the old way. So I guess they were the 7 points. For me, ownership of my own business, that is something that personally drives me. So I find that is empowering. It kind of leads to that empowerment. And from that, I guess it is still, you need to be self-driven. So, but even if that is not there at the start, you have so many people around you that it's a growing skill. So I always remind myself when I have that little whinge or think not, if it's going to be, it's up to me. So that is one of my main things, I guess, with it. We have one of the things that I was frightened of going out on my own, because it's been a big thing, is not having that support. So with EXP, you've got the admin support plus more. With what and everything that we do. So that's definitely not something that anyone should be afraid of. And I've found it even better than what I expected.
Perfect.
In the company it is and global. Yeah. I think another thing where I highlighted was number 4 was all agents are equal. So it doesn't matter where you rank. I guess my 12 years in real estate, you've got, you agents that do a few. I've probably always sat there somewhere in the middle. Then you have your high achievers. And when you're in an office environment, that can be challenging, or your commission splits are different and there's favoritism or something that comes out, or, one can overshadow the other. Whereas in EXP, it is everyone is equal. Like I was fascinated when I found out how everything operates. So that is really encouraging because you can still achieve financially, but not have to be working, 24 hours, 7 days a week with it. The risk, I look at it mostly, we have a couple of $100 fee each month, but that covers all subscriptions. So it's only really your insurance that you would need to take. So any business that you would try and establish, even if it was an online business, is going to cost you more than that. So if you're reluctant to take that step because you think, oh, it's going to cost me this much. A lot of the models that I looked at, you either had that $1,000 a month or it was a higher risk. So if I choose not to be working so much, or it's not working even out as well for 6 months, I haven't, lost a lot. No risk involved there.
Very low risk.
We have flexibility with our marketing. So, and because of the technology, the environment that we're in, we can still promote clients' properties and save them so much money and still get the results. So I love having the freedom of that, not having to do what everyone else does on there. And of course, the commission. Doesn't matter where you stand in real estate, you still start off on the 75%. Very, very easy to achieve, getting to the cap stage where you earn 100% commission. So once you start to do your numbers, fast forward, you have a financial future with EXP compared
Yeah.
to the traditional way of real estate.
Yeah, and the other agents in your area would be on a lot less money than what you are as far as their commission split would be concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I think no matter what office they're in, there still wouldn't be as generous, I would think, because they would either have a desk fee or some type. Maybe some of the franchises, EXP is giving them a good nudge, and they are trying to move, you know, closer to what EXP is offering to keep their people.
Yeah, yeah. All right, Ivor, what do you love about EXP? That was great. Thanks, Dee.
Yeah, I guess there's so many things, but it all comes under a few umbrellas, I suppose. So one is freedom, and that's freedom, and freedom can mean a lot of things to different people in different circumstances. But just the ability to be yourself and express yourself, and to be able to do real estate your way means that there's an authenticity that I just don't think that that's possible in a normal corporate kind of setup. I mean, you know, if you look at a political party, there's politicians that kind of stand there and they're supposed to be representing their community, yet they've got the party politics and their party policies, and you have to kind of go along with whatever the party line is. So for me, EXP's allowed me to be free, allowed me to do things, and part of that is even the accountability. If it's a really terrible idea and it goes badly, well, it's on me. It's not something you pass off on to one of the admin staff and say, oh yeah, they buggered up, or that was somebody else. So, I mean, the accountability, I think, creates authenticity. The other one is the collaboration. And I think collaboration gets used a lot in real estate office language and terminology. And I would think that a lot of offices, even the ones where the salespeople and the team, in inverted commas, team, get along well, there's still a competition. And that's something that's driven, I think, from a corporate perspective. And ultimately, the team is still a whole bunch of individuals with their individual aspirations, and they're doing, you know, their own thing for themselves. And that will always come first to doing what's right for the rest of the people that they're working with. The fact that we can collaborate in the way where there isn't really there's no loss to us in helping another agent to be successful, means that, like, that shackle's taken off immediately. And what I've seen is that means that interstate, we've got agents collaborating with each other. You know, everyone's bouncing ideas, sharing ideas. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter where you fit in the scheme of things. Everybody is just there and willing to help everybody, because there's no downside to that. So, you know,
the culture is great, isn't it? Yeah.
Look, it means that you can create a culture where those are the cornerstones: integrity and collaboration. And there's nothing that kind of resists against that, which, you know, they're all buzzwords, but in practice, they've got to work. So yeah, they're the two biggest things: just being able to be myself, and to be able to help and to be helped by other agents really freely is amazing.
Awesome. Okay. Dee, could you share with everyone your real estate journey, what you didn't like about the traditional real estate business model, and the difference with EXP?
Okay. I guess we've got to put a disclaimer here. We're all individuals. We have a different view of traditional real estate. It's over 12 years now. So I started quite raw. My background was sales and marketing, had my own business, always had an interest in homes, hence, you know, staging, styling complements what I do. So I had no idea how you even got paid in real estate. I had no idea terminology, caravan, just decided I was going to get my registration at that time and get into it, which I did. So I started in an office. I didn't actually go to the office I first signed up at, but I sort of thought, no, this is not going to work by a few things, but we won't go there. Anyway, so I did 9 months working in an office, and I thought, I don't think this is right. many things that I saw. While there were so many good things, it was still a struggle for me, everything going on. So I decided to get my license, and there was a local who had his own little business going, and if you were fully licensed, you could work with him. So I applied and I did. And that went for about 5 years, 6 years. We started hitting our downturn, lots of stuff, life stuff happened. Thought perhaps I need to be in an office environment around people. And so here I am now with EXP. Is it 1, 2, or 3? I changed through 4 offices in probably less time than what I did working as an independent. So, and while I worked with offices, I always still craved to work independently, but was reluctant because, you know, the admin side, compliancy and all that is
Trust accounting. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just something that put me off about it. And I probably researched, are we allowed to mention any names as other companies here?
Yeah, if you like, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Got the ABC, we're okay, aren't we?
Yeah.
Around the time, no, At Realty had launched. So it's about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So I probably kept an eye on them, but never made that leap. And even still till now, they were probably, until I looked into EXP a little bit further, were on top of my list and a number of times close to signing. So the last franchise I was in, I thought I'd give that a go. And then if that didn't work, I needed to make the move. Yeah. So fortunately, I had heard of EXP, but it was very new days then. And I thought, I'll wait and see. And if I'm meant to, I will. So the timing when it did happen was I got in touch with you. Yeah. And the more then I explored it, I could see potential for my future, basically. Yeah. So the day had hit, I think my turning point was I got to my desk in my last office and everyone was quite nice there. So it wasn't about, that sort of thing. Yeah. But I remember opening my emails and there were a few pay slips in there. And I thought, great, for all that work and all that commission coming in, this is what my take home is. And I sat there and I thought, well, in my later years of life, getting close to retirement age or mid-60s, where am I going to be? So I fast forwarded and I thought, no, being in this industry through a downturn and everything else and the numbers I was doing or comfortable doing, it was never going to happen. So I knew I had to find another way. And the winner for me with EXP was the setup. So immediately, first of all, the risk, the minimal risk of if it didn't work, it's only that couple of $100 a month.
Yeah.
And then if the support was there, I could move forward from there.
Yeah.
But then as you explored, it seems so easy to get to 100% capped, where I realized the sooner I can get to that. And then of course you've got the Icon Agent Award. For me, year one, I've missed it but I'm still stoked with what I have achieved because realistically I have worked part-time on my business because I have been house flipping and renovating
and yes.
Yeah. And I've still really look at in 6 months, I've earned in commission what I did in a full year in my last position. Wow. And I've still got 6 months to go.
Wow, that's awesome.
So with that, fast forwarding for anyone, if they are, looking at another 10 years in real estate, you still have the potential to build up, your super just in shares that you can inherit, be gifted from EXP. Yes. But then, of course, while you're doing that, trying to achieve that, you've increased and basically doubled your income. Yeah. So what that also does, like I support myself independently, it opens doors as well, leverages, like if you want to create investment portfolio, as you get older, it gets tougher. But when you've got a healthy pay slip there to show to the banks, it puts you in a better position for so many things. So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
Yeah, and I can't see anyone getting that from the traditional franchise business and setup. Yeah.
No, awesome. All right, Ivor, so can you share with everyone your real estate journey and what you didn't like about the traditional business model, and then why you do like EXP, or you love EXP?
Sure. So I got into real estate, and it was one of those things, people asked, like, how you get into real estate? And I just said, well, I was always going to end up doing it. And they said, well, how do you know that? It's like, I don't know. So I just always had this sort of vision I would end up in real estate for no particular reason, like no reason whatsoever. But I've been in real estate. So this is now my 14th year in real estate, and been with a couple of different offices in different capacities. So I was started off as a salesperson. I guess I learned the craft. Became good, trained, put a lot of dedication into improving skill, things like that. Then I took on the position of sales manager, so I was responsible for training and sort of development of a team, those sort of things. And then kind of got to a similar crossroads point to where I did with EXP. So it was kind of history repeating itself a little, but just got to a stage where I was on a different path to what that office was wanting to do. And it's not, what they were wanting to do wasn't wrong. It just didn't align with me, and it really wasn't the same direction as I wanted to go. So I then went to another office locally, and again, it was great. But probably over the last sort of 2 years before joining EXP, it was really this kind of nagging feeling of like, is this it? Is this what I'm going to be doing forever? Is this what I'm destined to do? Like, really some of those hard questions, like, am I on the right path here even? So I really guess fallen out of love with real estate. I was still doing the job, and I was still representing clients to the best of my ability, but all of those motivating things,
you weren't feeling it.
Yeah, it was just like, oh man, do I have to do this? I would swear, but I won't. But it was just like, I really was really unenergetic, and searching to go like, is this as good as it's going to get? And then came to the beginning of the pandemic, and I've been feeling that way for a couple of years. The pandemic, everyone had to work from home, and everything kind of got shaken up, and everyone, I think, was really starting to search a little bit and question, am I on the right path? How did I end up here? Is this what I planned? Is this how I planned for my life to work out? And then, as Dee said, like, where to from here? If I keep on doing this in 5 years' time, what's it going to look like? So I actually got a whiteboard out, and I kind of wrote down all the things that I'd fallen out of love with, all the things I didn't like about real estate. And then on the other side of the whiteboard, wrote down all the things I did love about real estate. And when I started to pull those apart and analyze it, most of the things I disliked weren't actually the real estate problems. So it wasn't the customer stuff. It was pretty much just the model. Being in a team was fine, but there was things that were happening that weren't really in alignment with me. That's why I say it was kind of Groundhog Day. It was just, there was a lot of things that weren't in alignment. They weren't true to my values. And that was at the same time, I'd been aware of EXP. I kind of knew the model a little bit. And then it was just brought back up again at that time. So I really went through the process of like, is it the vehicle that's the problem, or is it the path that I'm on that's the problem? And just came to the conclusion, hey, I'm in the right lane, but it's the vehicle that I think I need to change. And it just created all new challenges again. It wasn't, it hasn't been easy. There's been a whole bunch of stuff I've needed to learn, but when I'm not learning and when I'm not growing, I'm my own worst enemy, and possibly other people's worst enemy too at that point. So it was being able to find something to fall in love with again, because there's a lot of parts of the job and a lot of parts of what I do I absolutely love. It just gave me the better vehicle to do it within.
That's great. And you've also been busy setting up all the merchandise for EXP as well. So not only, you're running your own business, you've also got another sub business as well, which is awesome too. So yeah, perfect. All right. Okay. So Dee, why should agents in regional areas look at joining EXP?
I guess we've covered a number of those things, but okay. If we broke it down, is financial freedom for the future. So, you know, you've got to enjoy what you're doing. It's not all about the money, but in real estate, it does count. So if you have goals that you are trying to achieve the old way under a franchise, if you do make it, you're going to have to work and get those numbers up. Some that's easy, but the majority it's not. We know what the statistics are on that. I guess there is the flexibility as well. So in regional areas, there are a number of small boutique type offices. So even with that, that could be costing them a lot more than doing it the EXP way as a team. So I think the income split is a big thing, but because you've got the support, you've got the model, the vehicle, the people, it's just something that is really worth exploring and investigating. Unless you are totally happy where you are, 100% happy office, and you are happy parting with 50% easy of your split, and see yourself, you know, doing that and paying your own super and everything else that comes with it. So yeah, I think that's mainly it.
Okay, awesome. All right, Ivor, why do you think regional agents should look at joining EXP?
Look, I think the ability to be authentic is actually something that really speaks to kind of country values. People value people. You know, the sense of community is very different in a regional area to what it is in the city, because I guess we're all a little bit more reliant on each other. Everyone's a little bit more interconnected. And when it comes to real estate, the relationships are actually the most important thing. And those relationships are with a person. They're not with an office. They might be, they may have, you know, some okay feelings about the office, but you know, it's a big saying. You list with a person, you don't list with a brand. So ultimately, you are kind of the brand, and the relationship part of it is really, really important. When you're in an office environment and there's parts of that which really aren't to your personality, then straight away there's going to be some kind of a conflict. In fact, I think sometimes people list with an agent they like in spite of the brand rather than because of it. So being able to be independent, being able to be supported, being able to be yourself is something that you have that freedom within EXP. Yes, the commission split comes into that because, look, fundamentally, you need to earn enough money to survive and pay the bills and look after yourself. But then if you take care of those base needs, so, you know, you've covered your wage that you would have been earning before. If you were to start to work out what would be required for you to double your income is in a normal setting, in even just say a neutral market, the amount of work that would need to be done, it's not as simple as just doubling your output. Like you'd have to triple it just about. Now, if you're working 7 days a week, well, how do you do that? If you're working, there's just not the availability of the listings or the opportunity necessarily. And particularly when you're giving a big part of it away. You know, look at EXP. If you're on 100% of the commission, how long would it take to double your income? Well, like 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Once you take care of, you know, your base requirements, like your own personal break-even point, to double it beyond that. And it's actually cashing in on those relationships that you've made. So you're getting a return on your investment of time. And it's not about, you know, taking that away from the office. The offices are really important and they have a part to play. But at the end of the day, it's you. And if you've done the hard yards in the past, well, this is, I guess, your time to get the payoff for that hard work. The other part of it is, you know, looking, I guess, similar to what Dee did, but 5 to 10 years from now, what will a traditional real estate office look like? You know, it's not going to continue on and carry on the same as what it has been so far. So by setting yourself up now as an independent, as yourself, creating your own business with multiple potential income streams,
building your
including a
empire.
role,
Yes.
now you've got some resilience and you're not reliant upon, the changes in an office. And I think that's, I guess, a question that a lot of people should sort of be looking at, to go, you might have a great principle, great business at the moment, but where are they at in their career? Are they on the way out looking for an exit strategy? Because you might be their exit strategy. You might be the one that they're saying, well, I'm going to, you can buy my business when I'm ready to retire, which means that the harder you work,
You're
the more
pay more for
their
it.
business is, and then you get to pay more. It's like, that doesn't really work out, does it?
No, start working for yourself now. Build your empire. Yeah, awesome. All right, so Dee, we are wanting to get some agents to join your team in Mackay, and Ivor also your team in Taree and surrounds. Why should agents in Mackay join us, Dee?
Okay, well, if you are chasing, if you're not happy for starters where you are, there is another way. So I guess it's not going to suit everyone, but I really encourage people to investigate. As you know, I have a few people that are starting.
Yes.
And they were blown away. Sorry if I start coughing. They were blown away once they actually explored what was available to them.
Yes.
So I would be encouraging anyone to at least connect with me, reach out, and I can give you the insights.
Absolutely.
And then there's always you as backup there as well.
Yes.
So if they're wanting to grow their own business, earn more money, create that retirement plan. And when I first started, and I thought, I need to get this message out. So when you're part of EXP, you want to share it. It's not to push it onto someone, but it's like, man, because, I've worked 12 years and real estate never sleeps.
Yes.
Even if you have time off, it's in your head, it never sleeps.
Yeah.
So, and I thought, how many people my age in their 60s are going to stay another 5-10 years in this industry, and they're going to walk away with what, unless you are the office and you've got the rent roll, you will walk away with what you have. So I saw the potential it can create. My time plan is 5 years. And if I can work in gifted shares, higher income, it'll happen. But then I thought about it, and I thought there's some really young, inspiring agents around. I'll list as Mackay, even though I'd like to stretch this out north and south of Mackay. I thought, well, what about these young families, mortgages and the rest? And if they are doing their numbers and trying, they're still only going to get so far. With the amount of money they can earn, with freedom that they can. And of course, many of the younger people are so enterprising in what they're exposed to. So they will be restricted. Their wings will be clipped. It will be rare. There might be the odd franchise out there that is encouraging to that, but more percentage not. So then I start to think, well, no, they need to know about this too. They have young families, and how much more could they offer and gain financially? And it is the future of real estate. When I saw EXP World, I thought, oh man, and now, part of the metaverse. So quite proud to be part of a company that's one of 4 companies, I think, in the world, if that hasn't changed. Already involved in that. So it's going to be an interesting decade ahead.
Actually, funny you should say about the young ones. I did a presentation to a young girl yesterday, which is 29, young girl, I'd say. And I just was like, I was so excited for her, thinking, I wish I had this at 29. Could you imagine like getting the shares, getting your property management portfolio up, all of those things at 29 years old? Oh my gosh, I wish this was around back then.
And I guess just one more thing there too. Lisa is, well, as you know, the few that are starting, backgrounds are different. So some will be quite raw, some are, in the industry. And but to me, at the moment, it's female, but I'm not saying it's going to just only be females. But I've got more the attitude of a mastermind of Ivor, women in real estate at the minute, coming to the table, you know, skills that we can all bring in. No one is really competing with anyone, because in EXP, you compete against yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Right? The more you want to get, it's there, but you are equal. And that is so fascinating. Come your 12-month anniversary, you're back to square one. So it's empowering, because it energizes you, because you think, oh, well, I did that. But hang on, the clock starts again. I can redo it. So you don't feel like you're, you know, that anniversary comes, it's a recharge. So I have that to measure. But the attitude that I would like to bring in from people, because they're still going to be working independently for themselves, and I know I'm going to learn a lot from them. So then, while you don't have that office environment, as Ivor said, we have access to people in Queensland, Victoria, South Australia, and you can get on the phone and you've still got them. But when the team up here does start, that is what I've sort of sent the message out. We are masterminds in real estate. Our team is going to be. And no one is a threat to anyone else, but rather encouragement and how can we help each other.
Yeah, and I think you've got 5 agents starting, haven't you? So that's going to be very, very exciting.
Yeah,
very
4 or
soon.
5. Yeah, there's a little bit of fine tuning. Lots of life stuff's happening with a couple of them. But that's the great thing. They know they've got support.
And they've got flexibility.
From you, Emily, anyone that's around.
And there's no lock-in periods. They join if something happens. It's month by month, and all right, awesome. Okay, Ivor, joining your team in Taree and surrounds.
Yeah, sure, and no need to apologise, Dee. I think women bring so much to the industry and the collaboration to see that. I'm happy to learn from you. If I can steal a little bit, then
I think
cool with that.
Vice versa.
And look, I think, you know, even that in itself is great, to be able to have your own vision of your team and to be able to build your team, picking the people or you know, the people that you resonate with, because rather than being a group of people forced together, you get to choose it. So look, for me here in Taree, really my vision is to be able to set up a team of people who are, again, collaborating and working together, but where everybody brings something different to the table, and then the net effect of that is everybody is more effective because of it. Almost like an amplifying thing. Like, I love the quote, you know, a candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. And I see that very much of how I will set up a team here locally, you know, having agents that are able to be themselves, people that you can actually trust, and people you choose to hang around, people that you choose to spend your time with and enjoy spending time with, that have got your back, but they're allowed to have the freedom to do things their own way as well. So not being in each other's pocket, not having to have a rule book of our own, but to be able to support each other, because ultimately happy agents are better agents, and better agents do a better job for the buying and selling community that we actually represent. So for me, it's actually finding those people who actually, their fundamental motivation is to provide a fantastic service to their customers and clients. And if we can create a team where that's the focus, and you can do that however it fits appropriately for you, then it's not just us as individuals and not just us as a team that benefits from that. It's actually our community. I think there's a lot of gaps in how buyers and sellers are treated in this process, and I can only imagine, I hope, but I can certainly imagine that there's other people sitting in offices currently that are mostly okay with what's happening, but there's a part of it that could be subconscious or otherwise. Things happen and it just goes straight against them, straight against their values, and they kind of have to suck it up because they're not necessarily sure what the options are. And I think, you know, for anyone, the scariest position to be in is feeling like you're stuck or trapped. So to know that there's options and to know that there's other alternatives out there is really important. So yeah, get in touch. It may not be now, it may not be the right vehicle for you. Real estate may not be the right lane as a you know, I had to explore, but to know that there's other vehicles. You know, you trade in the old one and get the shiny Tesla, because that's the equivalent we are. We're not creating, you know, petrol engines. We're Tesla and above. You know, there's options, and you know, it's really exciting to be part of that momentum rather than a trajectory which is, you know, going to plateau, if anything, but probably decline, just like a Blockbuster store.
That's right, and we're growing. All right. Oh yes,
can I just add like two things to that, and probably Ivor, you would agree. Anyone thinking about it, because also it's not about maybe you're not happy in an office that you are. You could be really quite happy in an office that you are, which makes it even harder to leave. Was it Bjorn's story? I think he had shared that, where he was in a great environment, but he still took the path with EXP. So you might really be happy in the office, but your income still doesn't support where you want to go. That can be a challenge, and you've just got to, you know, back yourself on that, I guess. And the other is, if you're a little bit concerned, you might get so many listings, and then you think in an office environment, you know, oh, but you know, the office will give me listings. So you've really got to do your numbers on that, because, you know, I mean, I do know that momentum builds up. The more you list, the more you get. But, you know, once you establish yourself out there, and EXP is so supportive of that, so that's not going to be a problem. But you've really got to weigh up how many listings do you get, fed, so to speak, from the office, opposed to if you were in a position to be with EXP and you still achieved X amount of sales from 75 to 100%, plus then you are still getting gifted shares or anything else you can earn along the way, or then if you should decide to sponsor other people. So, you know, it's different levels that you can be working towards. So it is really a model that is just amazing to build up your future such a different way. So everyone should at least know about it anyway.
Oh yeah, take a look at the model. Absolutely. Ivor, is there anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just I guess what Dee's saying there is that you know, the scary thing, it seems the scary thing would be to change, and the risky thing would be to, you know, leave somewhere where you're established, or where there's this level of security. But security comes at a cost, and that's the part that, yeah, you might need to work out a few things, work out what the base needs are and what you need to achieve to be able to make sure that, you know, shop's taken care of, your family's going to be okay. But beyond that, like there is different ways of doing it, and it's just really exploring that, you know, looking at, well, how long do I need to do that for to be in that same position? Because leads might be handed to you in the office, but they're coming at a cost. You know, admin support is coming at a cost.
Everything.
You know, the advertising presence, all of that stuff, it has a cost. And it's just working out to say, well, where does that cost fit in with things? And is it a cost that is kind of your problem? Because there's no shortage of support, there's no shortage of resources, there's no shortage of coaching, there's no shortage of people to lean on than EXP. So you know, that's the same, if not better. I would argue better, but you know, there's plenty of resources there when it comes down to actually running a business like a business.
And technology and systems and templates and all sorts of things.
And at the moment, timing, there could not be a better time than to be giving it a go while real estate activity is so strong. So, you know, okay, what if it doesn't work? You can go back, choose your franchise, go back to your old office. But there couldn't be a greater time and opportunity than giving EXP a go now. And if we are going to finish off, Lisa, like, you know, you were one of the reasons that I felt encouraged to start EXP. You were kind enough to give up a weekend of me bombarding you with lots of questions. If we have got anyone that does listen and thinking, and okay, Ivor and I as agents have done our spiel, can you give some input about the support and background of if someone did join? So yeah, that it's, you know, it's definitely out there. The support is definitely out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, all the training that they receive from my real estate training community, or Glenn Twiddle's training, all the support as far as the programs that people get, the technology and all that sort of thing. We've got the admin staff that help with, you know, your contracts and all of that sort of thing, and trust accounting, and we've got the systems like RP data and all of that sort of thing. Is that what you mean, Dee? Yeah.
Yeah, well, just that, you know, like Ivor and I thought, well, you're here.
Yeah.
And, you know, you have introduced many of us
Yes.
into EXP.
Yes.
And I guess that's the whole thing. It's okay. We've sort of lightly covered it, but just hearing it from you, knowing.
Yeah. And I think what we'd like to do is, anybody that's interested, like, contact either Ivor or Dee, and what we can do is set up a time to just have a confidential chat, and then we can go through the whole model, and also look at your particular goals on what you're wanting to achieve in real estate, and how EXP can help you achieve those goals. And we can go through the multiple streams of income. We can go through, you know, sort of how you build your empire within EXP. And as you said, Dee, like a 10-year plan to sort of say, if I was to stay where I am now for 10 years, what does that look like? If I was to come to EXP, what does that look like? And I'm sure people will be absolutely gobsmacked with you know, the difference with EXP. So give either Dee or Ivor a call, and we would love to show you the model, and just just show you how amazing it is.
And if anyone just follows, like I started in March, I think it was at 31,000 agents globally.
Yes.
And they're sitting 72 now.
Yes, 72,000.
Yep.
Yes, 73,000. Yeah, so fastest growing real estate company. Yeah,
in 6 countries back in March, and now we're at. I'm losing
loads. There are loads.
So it's not just us thinking this is something good.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I tell people I have a small business with 73,000 colleagues.
Yes, exactly. All right, so give either Ivor or Dee a call, and we would love to help you. All right.
Thanks,
okay.
Lisa.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.